What is going on, everyone? Riddick here, and welcome to the House of Riddict podcast for March 18th, 2025. John Cena. Finally heard from John Cena after all these weeks following Elimination Chamber. We wondered what he was going to do, what he was going to say, but we definitely found out last night on Raw, and I'm going to talk about it. If you like this kind of thing, you like pro wrestling thoughts and opinions, go ahead and think about subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you know when I upload more content, and I would appreciate it. Now, getting right into it. John Cena, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if he was going to come out with new music, a new look. Of course, I talked about this in the past. I would have liked to seen, obviously, a new presentation, but what he said tonight made all the sense in the world, and it gives us the heel that we need. All right, maybe not the heel that we want, but the heel that we need for this WrestleMania. So he comes out, same old music. He has the same old John Cena gear on. Of course, this one was specific to Brussels, where they were at Raw. And comes down. He's not run into the ring or anything, just walks down. He's got that stone-faced look on his face. Comes down to the ring. The crowd is absolutely annihilating him right away. John Cena sucks. Chants, everything else. He picks up the microphone. He goes to try and talk, and they're just chanting so loud that there's no way he can talk. So he actually acts like he's going to leave. He puts the microphone down, acts like he's going to leave. They boo. He comes back. He gets the microphone again. They start railing him again before he can even say anything. Then he puts the microphone down, acts like he's going to leave, and they boo again. This time he comes back, he does get the microphone, and he says this quote that he put out on Twitter, X. And after he says that, then he goes into his explanation. They're chanting all these things, and he's like, "You're making this real easy for me." And then he goes into what the deal is and why he did what he did. And basically, it's because of all the fans and how they've just shit on him for 20 years. The let's go Cena, Cena sucks, all those years of that just apparently ate away at him until finally now it's boiled over. He says it's all the fans' fault, that he's basically breaking up with the fans. It's a toxic relationship with the fans, he says. He's tried to do all kinds of things to get on their side, and it doesn't matter, it's not enough. When he first came in, he knew that they hated it, and the fans hated him right away. Then he tried to change it up a little bit to see if that would make them like him a little more, which, of course, he was referring to Dr. Thugonomics, and they did. But then that didn't last long either, and it still wasn't enough. I will say this. Even though he's saying all this, we know what happened. He would have stayed like that if it wasn't for Vince McMahon. Just saying. Anyway. So years and years go by, and he says he wins and he wins and he wins, and he did, and everybody hated it. And he's not wrong. A lot of people did hate the fact that he just kept winning, basically burying talent left and right. And he said he tried to change things up again, which I don't know when that was, because I must have missed that. But nobody, liked him after that either, or it didn't matter, it wasn't enough, he said, right? But he said it's a toxic relationship, and that even he said that the Cena sucks jackoffs are bad enough, but the Let's Go Cena fans that he pointed out in the crowd, he pointed out the ones that they are, they got his gear on and all that stuff, they're even worse. Or they're just as bad, if not worse, than the Cena sucks fans, because they just ride his coattails. They just want to take from him, and what are they going to get next? What are they going to get next? And that's all they do. That's all they do. And so he points out that it's not just the Cena sucks fans. It points out that it's the Let's Go Cena fans, and it is the kids, because he points out a kid in the audience. And this kid is standing there in the new gear, which he must have just bought that night. And he's got this absolutely devastated look on his face, which I just thought was hilarious. Now, mind you, I am a father, so it's disappointing and heartbreaking to see the kid all upset, but at the same time, well, fuck them kids, which I found funny. That's basically what he said. And he says, yeah, this is over. I'm done with the fans. I'm doing what I'm doing now. And that's just the way it is. And he said this, and this goes to the music and the look and everything. He knows that the fans wanted a new look. He knows that the fans wanted the new music. I wouldn't say I wanted the new music. I kind of just wanted the Word Life song, and then we could do something with that. Or there is another track of his that was on his My Time Is Now album, or whatever that album was back in the day. There's another song on there that I thought would be a cool, more mature, modern take on a John Cena character, which I'll go into in a different video. We're not going to do it here. But I have a little idea of how I would book him if he does eventually do this. But he said that he didn't give us new music, and he didn't give us a new look because, well, quite frankly, that's what we wanted. And that right there is why I say he's not the heel we wanted, but he is the heel we need. He's going all in on this whole thing. He's not holding back. And quite frankly, if you did give him new music or a new look and things like that, you are running the risk of having people cheer for him. And going into WrestleMania, you don't want to have Cody having this mixed reaction because people now all of a sudden are on the John Cena bandwagon because he's finally doing what fans always wanted him to do, which they may still do, but at least it won't be as bad as if they just went and basically gave the fans what they wanted. So it won't be as big of a problem, I don't think. But Cena saying, you're not getting the new music, you're not getting the new look, because that's what you want. See, that's what a heel does. And people, a lot of them out there are disappointed that they didn't get the new look, they didn't get the music, and this and that. You just don't. If you're worried and disappointed in that, then that is exactly what they want, because that's what a heel does. You're not supposed to like the heel. I know it's the cool thing to like the heels. I've heels that over the years that I've liked too. But in reality, the best heels are the ones you just want to see beat. You just want to see annihilated. You just get sick of hearing their voice. You get sick of all the shit that they do. That's a good heel. A true great heel knows how to make you hate them. Back in the day, man, because I grew up in the 80s watching wrestling, back in the day, people would just throw trash at the heels and basically wait outside to beat their ass outside of the arena. I mean, they took that shit seriously. Like, if you were a hardcore heel, you were hated with a passion. That's what a heel should be. It shouldn't be this, oh man, he's so bad, he's cool. I get it. Stone Cold kind of flipped the script on that. But a real true heel should be hated. And so that's what he's going for. He didn't give us what he wanted, or what we wanted. He didn't give us what we wanted. So he's being a true heel, because a heel wouldn't give you what you want. Okay? So then, of course, the fans start chanting for Cody. He says, oh, yes, of course, you're chanting for Cody. Now, mind you, the fans were chanting all kinds of swear words that were bleeped out. Then they weren't bleeped out. Then they just gave up on bleeping them out because it was just too much. I don't know. But then he says, oh, yes, you want Cody, your new fancy toy that you're ready for because you're putting this one out to pasture, something like that. Cody comes out, of course, and he's not looking as bad as he was in the last couple weeks as far as how his face and everything looks. Everybody's singing his song, singing him to the ring. He comes out there. He gets in the ring, and he's looking at John, and he's like, what is this? And John's like, hold on, kid, or says something, now listen, kid. And he's like, no. He says, enough. And he yells it at him very sternly. He says, first of all, it's not kid. It's WWE champion. And he lets him know who the hell the boss is around here now. And then he says, I don't know what this is. Like, sizing up Cena, saying, I don't know what this is, but this is not the John Cena I thought I was going to be facing at WrestleMania. And if you bring this Cena to WrestleMania, he'll run him over and he'll retire him early, and that'll be that. So that's pretty much what Cody said. He wants the real John Cena. He doesn't want whatever this is, this whiny bitch. That's what he said. So Cody leaves. No music when he leaves. He just leaves. And then Cena's looking around. You think he's going to say something else. He just drops the mic and he leaves as well. And once he gets down to the entranceway, he just looks behind him, doesn't do anything, just leaves. And that's basically what the gist is of that. And I thought that it was great. I thought he's exactly what needed to happen. And as far as what we're going to see in this heel run of John Cena, I think it's going the right direction. You know, it's that "you people" promo that a lot of heels do, but it was a very, very good one because he tells you you're not going to get what you want because that would mean I'm not. He did specifically say, and I'm going to cover this in a second, he did specifically say, I'm not a babyface and I'm not a heel. I'm a human being. And we're going to touch on that whole aspect of him saying those words here in just a second, but he's not going to give you what you want because that's what a true heel should do. So I'm excited to see where this goes because I feel like we've only touched the surface of why he's doing what he's doing because he did not talk about the title. He didn't talk about getting number 17. He didn't talk about The Rock or anything like that, which is all topics that need to be addressed. But this segment already went a half hour, so they'd need a whole nother hour to do that. But we got several weeks coming up where he will be around. And so I do believe we will get that. I think we just got the first little taste, the first little layer of this. And I think there's a lot more layers to come as to what's going on here with him. All right. So I quite enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It was definitely not by any means what I expected. But what I got, I'm like, you know what? And it's just like I said in the opening of this video, not the heel we wanted, but the heel we need. That's the way I see it. So it wasn't disappointing whatsoever. Some people look like they're disappointed and things like that, but this is literally the first time we've seen him since this heel turn. The first time we've heard from him since this heel turn. You're not going to get it all in one day. You're not going to get it all in one night. It's going to play, especially under Triple H. You got to be patient. That's just the way it is, guys. You're going to get layers and layers peeled away week after week going into WrestleMania. And if this continues after WrestleMania, which I hope it does, I hope this continues on, and at least for the first half, if not 3/4 of his retirement tour. And he did say that he is retiring at the end of the year, so it's over after the end of the year, okay? So he did say that. It's not like he came out and said, oh, I lied about retiring. That didn't happen or anything. So he is absolutely retiring. And he said, he also said, I tried to do good with you fans one more time, but doing this retirement tour, he still hated me and still made it. And you still ruined it, is what he said. I don't know. It's a very good watch. If you go back and watch it again and listen to it, you may appreciate it a little more. Maybe in the moment you were a little disappointed because you didn't get that new, fresh coat of paint on Cena that you were looking for. But that's not what it was going to be, clearly. And like I said, not the heel you wanted, but the heel we need. And that's what we got to have going into WrestleMania. We need a straight up heel going up against Cody because who else really is there? You can do CM Punk, but CM Punk is just selling merch like crazy and just over like Rover right now. So I don't think they really want to turn him heel. The fact that Cena isn't around all the time and it is his final days in the company, I think that they gave him free reign to do what he wanted, and he is giving us what we wanted. We wanted the heel turn, so he's giving it to us, but he's giving us a real heel. He's not just going to give us what we want out of the heel. He's giving us what a heel should be, and that's what we wanted. Now, do I think that he will eventually have a new song and a new look? I think so. If we keep going past WrestleMania with this, maybe even at WrestleMania, he comes out to something different. Okay. And I can't remember what the song was on that old album, but it really has a vibe of like, I could see a John Cena walking out in a suit. He's got like the little unbuttoned cuff right up here, or whatever, unbuttoned collar, I should say. And kind of like how he looked in Fast and Furious, coming out looking like that with this song playing. And he's just, stone faced and mean looking and doesn't care about anybody. I could see that. Do we get that? I don't know. But do I think we eventually get something different out of him? I think we will. but we're not going to get it right away because that's what we wanted, you know? So I'm interested and intrigued to say the least, and I want to see more. It definitely left me wanting to see more because it was kind of a cliffhanger because he did not touch on certain things we need to touch on. That's okay. He'll be there next week. Cody will also be there, and then he'll be there the following week after that, and then a couple more dates right before WrestleMania, I think. So we got time to figure all this stuff out, and I'm interested to see where we're going. Do I think he wins number 17 at WrestleMania? I think you kind of have to at this point. You went through all this, so I think you have to. And then that gives him a heel title run that we don't know what it will look like because we didn't know what this was going to look like, and this is definitely not what we thought. So who knows what it's going to look like? And does that also mean that at WrestleMania we get some kind of third man? You know, everybody's talking about The Rock putting up the 3 and all that stuff, and now he did the 2. Are we counting down to something, or what's going on there? We don't know. Will there be a third man? And if there is, who would it be? It may be not the most popular decision, but I would go with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, of anybody that needs some kind of freshened up character, is Seth Rollins. Look, I get it. People, they sing a song and he comes out there, but 99% of the time, I cannot take this guy seriously with the ridiculous voice and the ridiculous clothes. I know it's kind of his shtick now, but it is just absolutely ridiculous. He doesn't even have to get rid of any of that. But if he comes out as an asshole, then all that stuff makes sense because I don't like any of that shit. I can't take him seriously when he's coming out there in some big pointy suit thing that I don't know. Now, tonight when he came out on Raw, I was like, all right, I can live with that. It's still weird, you know, it still has that vibe to it, but it was just a suit jacket, some pants, and we're good to go. It didn't look overly obnoxious or anything like that. So I was okay with that. And then he comes out there and the crowd's singing away and all that stuff. If he was legitimately as mad as he said he said he came out there and I was mad as hell. If he came out there that mad, he would have just shut the fans up right then and there and said, nah, not tonight. I'm pissed off. And just went right into it. And he did not. He's like, you know what? I came out here mad as hell, but I just can't help it. And he starts doing his thing. And it just, like, really, dude? You know? I just want him to be, he even mentioned the architect. Where is the architect? Because that's who I miss. I miss the architect, man. Or hell, I even miss the Monday Night Messiah. I'd rather have the Monday Night Messiah than what he is now. At least he still had that serious vibe to him. And yes, he can get serious when the time is needed, but this time was literally last night where he needed to come out there mad as hell after what happened. And he just comes out there and lets the crowd serenade him. And he's like, oh, yeah, you made me feel better. And this and that. Oh, fuck that, dude. Come out there. You're pissed off. You know, just cut the crowd off. Like, not tonight. We're mad tonight. No. And basically it was a waste of a segment anyway because all he said was, guess what? CM Punk is not here tonight. Roman Reigns is not here tonight. 2 people that the crowd probably paid money to hope that see there because it was Raw, and they did not. If they were advertised for that show, that would be really messed up if they didn't show up, but I don't think they were. So they shouldn't have expected it, but still, you get surprises. But they weren't there, so basically he just said, they're not here, but they're going to be on SmackDown, and I guess that means I'm going to SmackDown too. Okay, bye, and then left. And it was an absolute waste of a segment. Another waste of a segment where we could have had something with the Wyatts, or Liv at least, kind of, you know, maybe some glitches over her or something going on there. I get it. We're not going to do that because they're not on Raw. They're on SmackDown. Which leads me into Liv has a match on SmackDown with Jade Cargill. If ever there was a time to get the ball rolling on this, because honestly, what women's tag teams are there to go after the tag team titles? Seriously. I know Caden Carter and Katana Chance are floating around somewhere, and maybe Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, but we haven't seen them on TV since Sonya got released. And who else really is there in the women's tag division? Well, tag division, there isn't really one. There's nobody of substance to take them on that I can think of, because you ain't going to have Jade and Bianca and Naomi, obviously. They got their own thing going on, so you can forget that. There's really nobody of substance that I can think of off the top of my head that's an official tag team that could be a tag team or might be a tag team to take on Liv and Raquel. There's just nobody that I can think of. Now, maybe I'm just not thinking of them because they're forgettable or something. I don't know. But I honestly, I think that your best move is Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, and that's where we bring the Wyatts into this whole thing. And hopefully on SmackDown, when Liv takes on Jade, we get something that hints towards that. Some little something, because we've gotten nothing. I'm not going to go ranting and raving about the Wyatts in this video. We'll save that for when SmackDown happens and we see what happens. But for now, we have gotten nothing. So hopefully we get a little bit of something there. At the end of the show, we had Braun Breaker versus Finn Balor. Now, Finn is kind of on the outs with the Judgment Day, with everything that's going on. He got mad at Dom because he said he wanted to bring in somebody new. He mentioned Penta. Finn got really upset at this because Penta just said he wanted to go after the Intercontinental title, and Finn had a match for the Intercontinental title tonight. So he got really upset with that. And in the meantime, we've seen Karrion Kross talking to Dominic in the background in recent weeks. And if you think about what Kross has been doing, I love Karrion Kross, by the way. When you think about what Kross has been doing, going around as the devil on everybody's shoulder, he's kind of been doing that to Dom, just not up front and center like he has with AJ or Sammy or things like that. He did it again tonight with AJ. But in the background, you see it happening. And that is probably why Dom is acting the way he is and doing the things that he's doing, which I find very interesting. Of course, we have the Intercontinental title match, Braun Breaker, Finn Balor. And it does not go Finn's way because they try to get involved to help Finn. But of course, it messes him up instead, and he loses the match. And he's looking at him like, what the hell's going on? And then Penta comes out. Penta actually takes out Judgment Day, grabs the Intercontinental title, shows, Braun Breaker, I'm coming for your Intercontinental title. And he hands it back to Braun, and Braun's just standing like, okay, all right. But Penta did come out and take out the Judgment Day, so if you're worried about him joining the Judgment, that was never going to happen. He's not joining Judgment Day. It's just Dominic getting in Finn's head. So, where do I think this could go? Well, it could go multiple different ways. We could have Finn and Dom and Penta and Braun Breaker all for the Intercontinental title in some kind of fatal four-way. Or we could just have Finn versus Dom and settle the Judgment Day score. And then Penta versus Braun Breaker. If you do Finn versus Dom, honestly, I think that's where you bring the demon back. All right? The demon's back to annihilate the Judgment Day. That's where I think you can go with it. Karrion Kross, I don't know what's going on. When he was dealing with Sami Zayn, but Sami hasn't been on TV, of course, because of his injuries. So I don't know if they're going to do something with them at WrestleMania. I would hope they will. But you never know. Karrion Kross might get involved in this whole thing with Judgment Day and mess up Finn even more. I don't know. But I think the demon comes back to take care of the Judgment Day. That's what I think is going to happen. But again, you could have the Intercontinental title match be a fatal four-way between all those guys. And that'd be cool, too. I wouldn't mind that. Fatal four-ways are always fun. Especially with those guys, it'd be pretty fun. So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened on Raw. As far as news and notes, nothing crazy recently that I can think of that I want to talk about. I pretty much touched on the ones that I wanted to touch on in my last video. This is more, I just wanted to talk about what happened on Raw. I guess the most newsworthy thing is what John Cena had to say. And so that's what I covered here and what I thought about it and where we're going from here, of course. So, yeah. If any kind of crazy news comes out that I want to talk about, I will come back on here with a quick news video, things like that. But until then, that is it for this week's podcast. If you like this kind of thing, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that said, I will catch you all down the road.